All right, hello Move Student Ministries. This is Pastor Justin, and I'm coming to you live from quarantine at my house. We've been locked up for 4 days now. It's Thursday, and yeah, it's been a weird week, hasn't it? Nothing like this has ever happened in my entire lifetime. We're going to be talking about this for years. When you're like an old person, you're still going to be talking about the time you were locked up for coronavirus. But we're making a YouTube channel to kind of allow us to keep doing our business as normal during this time period. So if you haven't found out yet, church is going to be canceled for a couple weeks. It might be canceled for longer. We're going to see what the government kind of asks us to do. We're going to kind of see where the state of things is during this time. And so this YouTube channel is going to be a place where you guys can come and discuss things. It's going to be private, so the only people who can access our videos are going to be people who get links. And so we're going to be sharing the links around on Facebook, and we're going to be sending them to you guys through text. So if your parents haven't joined our Move Student Ministries page, tell them to find it on Facebook and like it. They can also go to the search bar and type in Move Parent Group and ask to join. That's where we do a lot of private updates, like if there's information about like addresses that we need to meet at, or kind of private information where we can talk about you guys without worrying about people from the public seeing it. You can have them search that up and join the page as well. But I would love for you guys to see my house, because I've been locked up for 4 days and there's nothing else going on. So this is my house. Let's do a slow pan. So this is, I guess I'll do it. I'll do a slow walk around. So this is a picture of me and my wife when we got married. Oh, I'm so pretty. And lots of people said beautiful things to us. And this is all flowers I've gotten Michelle. That's a golden flower, by the way. Bougie. Oh, shoot, I forgot. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. A new no, I'm just kidding. It doesn't. I don't have sponsors. No, I wouldn't do that to you guys. Okay, so that was the entryway. That's kind of like we're on the second level of a townhouse. So you can see the outside. That's the world. It's very ugly right now, but it'll be pretty when the clouds go away. This is my cat tree. This is where my cat spends most of her time. She is in the bedroom right now. This is my living room. This is where I lay down and play video games and watch movies. It's a mess. Yep. This is all my coronavirus equipment. I have my face shield. I have a face mask. Fancy. It's got filters. These are my coronavirus knee pads in case I need to protect my knees from the coronavirus. And this is my double eye protection. I'll show you guys my kitchen. This is a melting bead that I made of Robin, who is one of my favorite superheroes, and Michelle. Oops, hit the pause button. This is something Michelle made me, or got for me for Christmas. It's a little Captain America providing shelter for a kitty. And look at this weird thing. I had to put hot glue underneath it. Can you see that? Focus. I had to put hot glue on the bottom of it because it wobbles and it makes a lot of noise. There we go. Yeah, that thing sucks. All right. And this is my messy kitchen. And the dishwasher's running. I bought a bunch of these to survive the epidemic. I'll show you guys my fridge. So, most of these are Michelle's, if you haven't figured that out. I did make a bunch of magnets. I'll show you guys these. I'm pretty proud of these. I had a card game that I don't really play, and it's a Star Wars card game, and I punched out these holes, and I turned them into magnets, because I had a bunch of them. This is a wedding I did, that I officiated, where I was a monk, because it was Lord of the Rings themed. What else we got? Oh, I was given this picture by a student at my school. I'm the best cat raiser. Let me show you my fridge. So, over here, we have almond milk. I made some rice pudding and it's delicious. We've got lots of almond milk. We've got water, things, eggs, yogurts, Pops. That's Verner's. It's non-alcoholic, just in case I don't do that stuff. Yeah. That's my house. Well, that's most of my house. I can't show you the rest because Michelle's working. She has to work from home right now. I'll show you guys my setup here. This is how we're going to be doing today. Hopefully it stays together and doesn't fall. Maybe. Can you see my face? Hopefully my whole face is in frame. All right. I'm just going to see. I'm going to hope this works. So I'm going to kind of give you guys the game plan about what we're going to be doing over the next couple weeks and what to expect. It's a weird time. So I'm going to be uploading devotions onto this channel every couple days. This is so wobbly, isn't it? Anyways, I'm going to be uploading devotions to this channel every couple of days. And the idea is you guys don't have anything else really going on in your lives. And it's an opportunity for your relationship with God to grow during this time period. So I'm going to be doing a devotional today. And I'm going to be asking questions at the end of it that I'd like you guys to respond to in the comments and maybe have a small group discussion where you guys can answer the questions and kind of talk about different answers and maybe bounce ideas off of each other for projects you could do. Secondly, we're going to be uploading some stuff on Sundays, like a Sunday school, essentially. We're going to try to keep things as normal as they would be as if it were a regular Sunday. So Candy and Sarah are going to be working together for the senior hires to upload some videos. They're going to be finishing the book of Acts with you guys, and then we're going to be moving on to one of the books of the prophets. I think they're leaning towards the book of Daniel. We're going to see what one they end up choosing. I'm excited for you guys because the books of the prophets are some of my favorites. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel are so good. So I'm excited for that for you guys. I'm going to be we've been kind of talking about how to read the Bible in junior high, and we're going to continue doing that during this time period. So I'm going to be uploading like a starter video, and then I'm going to be linking to the Bible Project video so you guys can watch it on your own. Last week we talked about Jewish meditation literature. If you missed it, I can't remember what this week's video is about, but we're going to be uploading that on Sunday. So I look forward to seeing you guys then. And then finally, we're going to be doing sermons on Wednesdays. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, if it's going to be just like this, sitting at my kitchen table, or if I'm going to try to actually do it at church to make it a little more official and professional. We'll see. I don't know. But I have a request, and it's a cheesy YouTuber request that you've heard 1,000 times. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. I'm not going to monetize this channel. I don't think it's ever going to get to that point, but it'll help you guys as we upload different stuff. Erica might even be uploading some worship music that she's going to do. It'll just help you guys stay plugged into what's going on in the youth ministry and stay connected to each other. And that's really what I want to see. I don't want things to change in our youth ministry. I want things to actually grow in our youth ministry. I want to see our relationships get built up. And so you guys have my permission to share these videos with your friends. You have my permission to share these videos with your parents. I mean, just share the link. That's all you have to do. These videos are private, which means that as long as someone has a link to the videos, they can watch them. And that means you don't have to worry that much about what's going on in the comments. Like, you can talk about stuff in the comments and get deep because it's not a public YouTube video. No one's going to come in and criticize you. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you don't have a YouTube account, make one so you can comment on our videos. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a devotional with you guys, if that's okay with you. We're going to be doing some reading from the Bible today. I'll show you. Ooh, I have a cool Bible translation. So my Bible is different than yours, probably. It's called The Bible for Everyone. And it's by John Goldengay and Tom Wright. They each took one part of the Bible. So Tom Goldengay took the Old Testament, and Tom Wright took the New Testament. And they're both like PhDs, so it's not just two random guys that said, I want to write a translation of the Bible. These guys, they wanted to do a translation from the original languages, from the original manuscripts, that kind of preserve the mystery of some of the parts of the Bible. When you translate an ancient document, sometimes things don't make sense to you the way you would like them. And they tried to keep that because a lot of modern translations try to answer all those questions. They try to put a little bow on all the problems that come from translation and make it neat and polished. And these guys intentionally left it unpolished. They left it a little more raw. So sometimes it could be a little more like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And it's an invitation for you to spend some time studying and maybe doing some history lessons on your own to learn more things about the Bible. So that's what we're going to be reading from today. I'm going through the book of Mark in my own personal devotions. And I want you guys to join me. We're in Mark chapter 9, verses 30 through 37. This is the life of Jesus. So if you have a Bible, you can read with me, or you can just listen. This is Mark chapter 9, verse 30 through 37. They went away from there and were traveling through Galilee. And Jesus didn't want anyone to know because he was teaching his disciples. The Son of Man, he was saying, is to be given over into human hands. They will kill him, and when he's killed, after 3 days he'll rise again. They didn't understand the saying, and they were afraid to ask him, they being his disciples. Jesus and his disciples finally arrived in the city of Capernaum. When they got into the house, Jesus asked them, "What were you arguing about on the road?" They said nothing because on the road they had been arguing about which of them was the greatest. Jesus sat down and called the 12. "If you want to be first," he said, "you must be last of all and servant of all." He took a small child and stood it in the middle of the room. Then he hugged the child and said to them, "If anyone welcomes one child like this in my name, they welcome me. And if anyone welcomes me, it isn't me they welcome, but the one who sent me." Man, Jesus is so interesting. He comes into an argument that his disciples are having about who's the most important, about who's the greatest. He grabs a kid and he pulls the kid into the room. He hugs the kid. He says, if you welcome a child like this in my name, you welcome me. And if you want to be the greatest in my kingdom, you have to be the least. You have to be a servant of everyone else in the kingdom. It's so interesting. I mean, according to this, the most important people in the world are child care workers, are like the people that ran your daycare when you were a kid. Those are the most important people in God's kingdom, according to Jesus in Mark chapter 9. And it just makes you pause. And it makes you ask this question, do my values line up with Jesus' values? Do I really care about the thing Jesus cares about? Do I care about people the way Jesus cares about people? Because in the society they were living in, children were disposable. You would have as many children as you could because the healthcare was so bad back then that children died. And if you didn't have a ton of children, you could lose them. And so they had so many kids that kids were kind of disposable. And they were obnoxious and they were everywhere and they were a nuisance. And Jesus says if you aren't capable of welcoming and loving the nuisances, the obnoxious little snot-nosed bratty kids that you see around you, if you aren't capable of loving them and lifting them up, you aren't capable of loving me. I've just got some questions I want to ask you guys about this section that Jesus is talking about. And I want you to answer this in the comments. Discuss this in the comments. You guys don't have anything better to do. And it's just going to be people from our church and our youth ministry. So talk about stuff. I mean, you have my permission to argue in these comments. Because this is the closest thing we're going to have to small groups for a while. So what can you do to become a servant of everyone during this time? I mean, when we're locked up because of coronavirus, who is everyone that you can serve? Can you serve your neighbors during this time? Can you serve, the elderly? How can you serve people during this time? How can you be a servant of all during this time? And the second question that I'd like you to answer in the comments, just maybe put a 1 next to the first one and then a 2 next to the second one. What can you do to help people who are struggling during this time? You know, a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs because of coronavirus. A lot of people are going to be suffering because of coronavirus. What can you do to help those people during this time? What are some creative solutions Like, how do you help people from behind closed doors? Or maybe how can you go out into the world and help people without risking yourself or risking infecting those people? Like, what can you do to help people in your neighborhood? What can you do to help people in your community during this time? Is there anything you can do with your parents to help other people? So I just want to see you guys brainstorm in the comments a little bit. And before we kind of finish for today, I just want to pray with you guys. I want to pray for you guys. Just that God would show up in your life during this time, that your faith would grow, that this wouldn't just be a period where, you know what, I'm locked in my house and I guess I'm not going to church, so I really don't have to draw closer to Jesus, when in fact it's the opposite. I want you to do more than stay normal. I want you to do more than maintain. Oh, I need a word that's not really big. I want to say the word zeitgeist. That's the wrong word. The status quo, equilibrium. I want you to do more than stay the same. I want to see you blossom. I want to see you flourish in your relationship with God during this time. And that's going to be what I pray about. So if you just bow your head and close your eyes with me. Father, last Wednesday we talked about experiencing you. And I think so much of our relationship with you can be centered around experiencing you inside of a church, about knowing you and being a good follower of you when we're in a church building. But Father, we are not going to be in a church building for a while. And during this time, would we find you in our rooms? Would we find you in our houses? Would we find you in our relationships with each other? Would we find you when we read the scriptures, Father? Would we find you in the Bible? Would our relationship with you deepen and grow wider as we spend this period of time out of our comfort zones? Would you become real to us as individuals? Would you grow in us more than you've ever grown before? I thank you so much for what you're doing in these young people. Would you protect them? Would you keep them safe? Would you keep their families safe? And Father, most importantly, would you grow in them and out of them? In your name, amen. See you guys around.